Have you ever noticed how a mirror in an empty room doesn't just show your reflection? It shows the silence behind you? I learned that a few hours ago. And now I can't unsee it. I'm sitting in my car, engine off, just watching the rain streak down the windshield. The receipt from the gas station is on the passenger seat. The timestamp on it says I was inside their bathroom 5 minutes before I even arrived. This shift felt different from the start. A deep, heavy quiet had settled over Bakersfield, the kind that swallows sound. The air was thick, with the smell of wet asphalt and distant farmland. My last ride of the night was a simple ping from a motel just off the interstate. No name, just an initial. M. When I pulled up, the only light was a weak, flickering neon sign for the motel office. Everything else was dark. The memory of that ride. It isn't just a story I'm telling, it's a piece of the night that followed me home. He slid into the back of my Camry without a word. The door closed with a soft thud that felt too loud in the silence. In the rearview mirror, he was just a silhouette, his face hidden by the shadow of his hoodie. He was tall, thin, and moved with a kind of jittery stillness. He smelled faintly of rain and something else, something metallic and sharp, like old pennies. I started the ride. The destination was just a set of coordinates, 40 miles north, deep into the rural valley. No address, just a point on a map. "Everything all right back there?" I asked. A long pause. Then a quiet voice, raspy, "Just drive." The rain started then. Light at first, tapping gently on the roof. The wipers began their steady, hypnotic sweep across the glass. The silence in the car grew heavier, thicker. I could hear him breathing, slow and measured, but it felt deliberate, like he was concentrating on each breath. We drove for maybe 10 minutes, the only light coming from my headlights cutting through the darkness of Interstate 5. That S. When I realized he hadn't moved at all, not a single shift in his seat, just a dark shape in my mirror, perfectly still. But that wasn't the strangest part. "I need gas," I said, mostly to myself, breaking the tension. The needle was touching empty. "There's a Chevron up here." He didn't respond. I glanced in the mirror again. His head was turned, staring out the side window into the blackness of the fields. "That's fine," he finally said. "I need to use the bathroom." I pulled off the exit. The gas station was an island of harsh, fluorescent light in the middle of nowhere. It was one of those massive, 24-hour travel centers. But at 3 in the morning, the parking lot was deserted, just a lone trucker sleeping in his cab. I filled the tank, the sound of the pump clicking and worry unnervingly loud. He got out and walked toward the convenience store, without looking back. I watched him go inside, a tall, hunched figure disappearing past the automatic doors. Primera finished up, got my receipt, and waited. And waited. 5 minutes passed. Then 10. The rain was coming down harder now, blurring the glowing sign of the station. Here's where it gets darker. I started to get a bad feeling, the kind that starts low in your gut and slowly climbs up your spine. Another 5 minutes. The clerk inside was just a kid, busy restocking shelves, not paying attention to anything. I told myself it was nothing. But the silence from the car was gone, replaced by a growing anxiety. It felt Brungway. I couldn't just leave him there, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I got out of the car, the cold, damp air hitting me instantly. I walked into the store. The air inside was stale, smelling of coffee and cleaning fluid. "Eh," I said to the clerk, the guy who just came in from the gray Camry. "Did he come out?" The kid looked up, confused. "What, guy? You're the only one who's come in for the last hour." Man, my blood ran cold. "No," I said. Tall guy, dark hoodie. He came in to use the bathroom. The clerk just shook his head, looking at me like I was crazy. "Dude, I'm telling you, nobody's come in. Bathroom's over there if you want to check." I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. The bathroom door was at the back of the store, past the coolers. I walked toward it, my own footsteps echoing in the empty space. I pushed the door open. The lights flickered. The room was empty. Clean. Too clean. The air was cold and still. I took out my phone and turned on the flashlight, its beam cutting through the dim light. That's when I saw the mirror. It stretched across the entire wall, above the sinks, and in it, I saw my reflection. But I also saw the empty doorway behind me, and for a split second, I swear I saw another figure standing there, right behind me. My own reflection, but not. It was just for a flash, but it was enough. My heart started pounding against my ribs. I forced myself to breathe. It was a trick of the light, the flickering fluorescent bulbs, my tired eyes. I scanned the small room. There were 3 stalls against the far wall. All the doors were slightly ajar. Empty. Then I heard it. A soft, wet sound. Breathing. It was coming from the last stall. The one in the corner. "Hello?" I called out, my voice sounding weak. "Is someone in there?" No answer. Just that same, slow, rhythmic breathing. I took a step closer. The air grew colder. I reached out and knocked on the stall door. "Knock! Knock! Knock!" A moment of absolute silence followed. And then, from the other side of the door, a knock came back. Knock, got, knock, knock. It was delayed, slow, deliberate. A perfect echo of my own rhythm. I froze. My hand was still hovering near the door. The breathing sound stopped. The entire gas station, the entire world, seemed to fall completely silent. And that's when everything shifted. I turned and walked out of that bathroom as fast as I could without running. I didn't look back. I got in my car, started the engine, and was about to peel out of that parking lot and never look back. Just as I put the car in drive, the back door opened. He slid in, just as quietly as before. He looked exactly the same. Dark hoodie, face in shadow. My heart was a drum in my ears. I couldn't speak. I just stared at him in the rearview mirror. He finally looked up, and I could see his eyes for the first time. They were just empty. "What's wrong?" he asked. His voice caught. "You look like you've seen a ghost." I couldn't form the words. I just shook my head. He tilted his head slightly. "Why did you come in?" The clerk said, "You were looking for me." I was still inside. His words didn't make sense. The clerk said no one came in. The bathroom was empty, except for the knocking. I glanced at the passenger seat. The receipt for the gas was still there. I picked it up. The time of purchase was 3:17 a.m. My phone's clock now read 3:28 a.m. He was in there for about 10 minutes. But as my eyes scanned the receipt, I saw the other timestamp, the one printed automatically when the transaction begins. 3:11 a.m. I had been inside that store, at that register, 6 minutes before my passenger ever went in. 6 minutes before I even pulled off the highway. I drove him to the coordinates in complete silence. It was an abandoned farmhouse at the end of a long dirt road. He got out, paid in cash, the bills were cold and damp-hand disappeared into the darkness without another word. I drove away, and I haven't stopped. I'm parked now, miles away, just thinking about that bathroom, about the reflection that wasn't mine, about the knocking that answered me from an empty stall, and about that receipt. It proves I was in 2 places at once. Or maybe the person who came out of that bathroom wasn't the same one who went in. If this felt too real, say something below. The night remembers more than we think.